I'm gonna mute myself.
Okay. Thank you guys for hopping on to our free meal planning and prep workshop. If you don't know me, my name is Kate Noble, and I am hosting this with the lovely Mom Bod Nation, Cindel Glenn. Tonight, we've actually hosted this once before and had awesome feedback. Um, Sometimes when you get into the groove of meal planning and prep, you forget like where you started. And I started from I was terrible. Like my nutrition was terrible. I never meal planned and prepped like at all. So this like kind of takes it back to the basics as well as shows you what our normal typical routine is. Not that we're perfect or that every week is perfect, but this is when like we're in a groove. And as you know, most of you should know, you get results from your nutrition. You're going to get the toning in your body and all of that from your workouts, but your nutrition is like so important. And you're going to be successful if you plan. So it's really hard to have good nutrition if you're not planning and prepping each week. And so we're really hoping to like give you guys some resources that you can find helpful. After this, we'll email you out all of the templates that Cindel and I use, or that we've kind of created for you guys to use. And then making it your own. So just because something works really well for us, you're going to find when you get in your own groove, something works well for you. So we really would love if you would follow us on Instagram. These are our handles, Kate Emily Noble and @MomBodNation, because we do share a lot of tips and tricks through there. Okay. So this is kind of like what you can expect for tonight. We're going to talk about creating a routine, how to prep like a boss, budget-friendly tips, hubby and kid-friendly approved meals and ideas, how to keep it healthy. So you can meal plan and prep, but it cannot be healthy. So how can you like add that healthy mix into it? The free resources that we have, and then we'll have our giveaway. So, and sorry, I feel like I kind of have a frog in my throat, but just bear with me. So to start, we are going to talk about creating a routine. And if you like get into a good groove, you're gonna find your week move so seamlessly. And so on the right-hand side, you can kind of see Friday is like your typical like ideal day to plan your meals for the next week. So Monday through Sunday. Saturday would be the day you shop. Sunday would be the day you prep. Now, why is that? Because if you do it all on Sunday, it's so overwhelming. And that's when you go, ugh, I can't do this. Like, this is way too much. Like, those people who say they plan and prep like they're crazy because I literally spend all Sunday doing it. Yes, if you leave it all to Sunday, you will spend all Sunday doing it. So if you get into the groove of Friday and Saturday and Sunday having something different, it's super helpful. So talking about planning, when you're first thinking about your plan, you have to think about who are you cooking for? So is it just yourself? Do you have a husband you're cooking for, a parent that maybe staying with you, your toddler, your baby? Who are you cooking for? Then when? So then that's when I pull out my calendar and I look at the next week, and planning is key in all areas of life. So you should have a calendar of some kind, even if it's just your Google Calendar, like looking at when are you going to be eating at home? Are you eating all of your lunches out Monday through Friday because you work? Do you have any dinners out that week, whether it's like date nights or working lunches that you have, lunch dates, and then are you going to be traveling? So when you look at your calendar, it really helps you piece together each specific meal. Like, do you normally eat your breakfast on the go, right? So that's going to talk about where will you be for each of your meals? Are you like so crazy busy in the morning that like you want something you can grab and eat in the car while you're driving to work or on the subway? So thinking about that so that you can plan meals that are perfect for that location. So whether it's your office, your home, your car, your restaurant, are you going to have a fridge or a cooler, or does it have to be something that like you don't need refrigerated? All of those little pieces, when you look at your week, make it easier to make your plan. So then I'm going to just kind of give you a look at what my week would look like. And so this was a typical week. And like Monday, I usually have a work day. So I'm out of the office, out of the home. So I would be gone on Monday. Wednesday, I have mops. And so I have a mops breakfast that week. Wednesday night, Brendan's traveling. So that's important to know. I don't have to cook for him. Like, I hate when he travels, but I really love when I don't have to cook him dinner. Date night on Saturday. And then normally we do brunch after church. So that kind of gives me an idea of like what I need to piece together within here. Okay, so then you're going to create your routine and plan and pick your meals. So these are just kind of a few tips. The less complicated you make things, the less stressful it's going to be for you. So I love having the same breakfast just about every single day of the week. Like, I don't know if you've read any articles on people that are like super fit and healthy, and like, I classify myself as like getting healthier and learning, but I'm not like one of those, I'm just don't view myself as like those really intense, like fit people. But those people, they're eating the same things a lot. People that get results are eating the same things a lot, not because it's boring. It doesn't have to be boring. I switch it up, but it's easy. It's not complicated. I don't have to like think about what I'm eating. It's just there, and I like it and I enjoy it. And then when I get bored of it, I switch to something else. So less complicated meals. So if you don't like to cook fancy dinners, like, don't plan a fancy dinner. If you don't like cooking with ingredients you don't normally cook with, then don't. I mean, it's fun to try new things, but don't feel like you have to. Create a go-to dinner list. This is like so helpful. And I can tell you, like, I have not had one for a very long time. And let's say like the holidays roll around and then I like get back onto the groove of like eating healthy, like a lot. And I'm like, wait, what was I cooking that was like good? I like totally forget. And then I like get so bored when I'm like meal planning because I'm like, I can't think of anything. So if you create a go-to dinner list, it makes it super easy to be like, okay, my husband really liked this, the kids liked this, these are my go-to dinners that I can easily pull from for my meal plans. Shakeology makes it so easy. If you haven't tried it, haven't thought about using it, like, people sometimes complain about the price, but it is a high quality product. And if you think about what you spend on another breakfast, it's actually pretty equivalent to the price. It's just that people don't see paying for that all at one time, right? And so that is like a nutritionally dense shake that is going to fuel you for the day. So it's a great breakfast option or a snack option or lunch option, just depending on like what your schedule is like. But it's easy, it's quick, it's efficient, and you're getting the nutrition that you need. The Ultimate Portion Fix, if you are familiar with that, or if you have done that program before and you've been like, this is like a puzzle piece, like I am so confused. Some people like love it and others are like so confused. And I was in the category of so confused. And so I'm like, how can I like make this like helpful to me, and something that I can share with others when it's like a puzzle to me? But because of the way my brain works, I found it really helpful to use the same containers at each meal. So like breakfast, I would always have a yellow, a red, a green, and a teaspoon, I believe is what it was when I was using that program of like to a T. And so using those same containers at each meal makes it like simple. So then at dinner time, you're like, what should I make? I always get a red, a green, and a purple, whatever you choose, right? So it makes it easy to plan those meals. Okay, so then you can kind of see, let me, okay, I just need to be able to see it. So then you can kind of see how I fill in my week. And all of the ones that are in pink, they mean something, right? But I've filled in my breakfast. So pink, the egg white and veggie burrito, that's a work day. So that is one that I'm out and about. So I have a place that I love to go to, a coffee shop. And so it's super easy and I love it. And I know that it's healthy, where I can go I put that in, right? And then the other pink is that Mops breakfast. So I don't have to make that. I love the options that I don't have to make. So all the pink options are things that I don't have to make. I love it, right? Then, sorry, my voice, I feel like I sound so funny. Then if you look at my other breakfasts for the week, I've kind of filled in 2 different options. One of them are the 2 eggs with spinach and tomatoes and toast with peanut butter. The other is my Shakeology right here. Breakfast has to be easy for me. I don't know about you, but like if you have kids and you wake up in the morning, like unless you have the time set aside and you're making breakfast for them and it's the same thing that you're going to have, which is also really great if you can do that. I just am flustered in the morning and I feel like I just never have enough time. Even if I wake up 3 hours before I have to be somewhere, I'm always like 10 minutes late to wherever I have to go. So if I can make my breakfast simple, it makes it easy for me. And then you can see my lunches. I have like a lot of the same things: chicken and roasted veggies, chicken burrito bowl, and then I have a leftover day right here where it's leftover chili from the dinner that I had on Tuesday night. So I also want to show you this chicken fajita burrito bowl. So these ones that are marked in pink, they're things that I've pre-made. So, and it will probably make more sense in the next, I think it's the next slide, but let's just say, so we're on Sunday right here, the steak and roasted veggies and sweet potato. That is key for me because, and this is like where it can get confusing when you're looking at this meal plan, I have roasted these veggies for the next week. So it's Sunday night. You don't see my meal plan for the next week, but I know that I'm going to be roasting a huge amount of veggies so that I can use them in my lunches for the next week. So like the chicken roasted veggies, I roasted those the weekend before during my regular meal. And then you can see same up here, this 2 eggs, spinach and tomato. This is like a big tip, or works so well for me, is like I'm making my breakfast on Sunday, but I'm also making the extra that I need for Tuesday and Thursday. And this is like a breakfast I use all the time, so it makes sense to me. I love prepping it. I'm pretty much okay with it being in a container, and if you separate it out like and heating it up, I don't have to have my breakfast be like 100% amazingly tasting, right? It can be leftovers and still be really good. So anyways, then like on this Thursday, so this will kind of go into the tips that Sindel has that she's sharing. So my husband all of a sudden doesn't like spaghetti squash. He did for a while when he was like, oh my goodness, this is way better than actually regular spaghetti. But now he doesn't. And so I don't want it to like make him upset. And like, it's so much easier to just make regular spaghetti for him that night. And I can have the spaghetti squash with turkey sausage and marinara for myself, right? It's just changing that one thing. And then for Brendan, I'd add a regular potato for him. And the girls probably too, because they both would eat that as well. So it just makes it really easy. The other box in pink, like if you can see, it's like you just have to like piece it together so that you can reuse things. So these chicken fajita burrito bowls, I made that on Monday night, and that's what I'm using for Tuesday and Thursday and Friday lunches. So I just make extra. And then my snacks are usually pretty consistently the same. And then I love to do my workouts in there too. Okay, so create a routine. So the next day, Saturday, is going to be shopping. Shop on Saturday. It's so much easier if you don't do it on Sunday. So what makes it really helpful for me is like I had that meal plan created, right? But also having a master grocery shopping list. So you can see I really like to have that egg and spinach and tomato breakfast. Like I always have regular things that I need to have on hand, or whether it's things for the girls like whole milk or their yogurts, things like that. I always create a master grocery, or I always have a master grocery shopping list so that I get those same things every week. And that way too, if I have to like send my husband to the grocery store, it's like I know and I don't forget those main things that I always have. And then what are the little extras that you need for that particular week? So when you're eating healthy, you start cooking with a lot of the same ingredients. And so you always want to have eggs on hand, or you always use almond milk in your shake, or you always have a banana every single day, or you always need hummus, right? So what are those things that you consistently have? And then you add the extras on and you go shopping for it. It's easy when you actually think about it and you have that master list already created. So, oops, sorry. So here are a few things that are on my always list. I always have almond milk, eggs, about 18, because the girls like them, I like them, and then we have enough for the weekend when we want to make breakfast together. 6 to 7 bananas, baby spinach, cherry tomatoes, and then veggie platter and fruit platter. There was a time in my life, and it is so much better when you can cut up your own fruit and your veggies. It tastes so much better, but my life is so much better when I buy the platters because I'm not stressed over chopping the vegetables and chopping the fruit. And so to me, that little bit of extra like price is worth it in my time, right? My time is worth that. So there are some things that don't feel guilty for. You will save a little bit of money, but you're going to lose a little bit of time if you have to prep all those things. And I love not having to prep those things. Sparkling water, whole wheat bread, chicken, turkey, and then lean ground beef. So that's my like always list. So then you're going to create a routine in that. So we're going to talk a little bit about Sunday. So what do you do on Sunday? Honestly, you guys, this is where you have to change your Sunday mindset. There, you will need at least like, I mean, every meal plan's different, but at least 2 hours I normally spend on prepping my foods. And that sounds like a lot. And depending on what you're making, it could mean even more time or it could mean less time. But you have to choose to realize that prepping on Sunday makes your life so much easier through the week. Like it is so nice to just know what you're having for dinner on Wednesday night, right? You had a crazy day, you come home and it's already just about made. You maybe have a few extra steps to do to put into the oven. You don't come home and you're like, what am I going to make? Or you don't come home and you're like, I'm just going to order pizza for everybody because I just can't even think about making dinner tonight. Because those are that's like normal. That's like every day for me. I wish like if I didn't have that prep, I would not want to cook. So if you decide that you make it in advance on Sunday, it saves you that stress and anxiety of having to do it that particular day and not wanting to. And then obviously your health and your weight and all of that is going to be impacted by choosing to eat at home and choosing to eat the food that you prepped in advance. So decide what you can make 100% in advance. And so usually my breakfast, lunches, and snacks are things that I can prep 100 in advance so that I can literally just like warm it up in the microwave or pull it out of the fridge and eat it. And those are the things I'm going to put in grab and go containers because they're easy. The first few months that I had Claire, when life is like the craziest, right? When you have a brand new newborn, I am so thankful that I got back into this routine because who knows what your day is going to bring with like a newborn and a toddler. And so it was so nice to just pull out my lunch. I knew it was healthy. I ate it and it just saved, like I just felt better, right? Because I was eating good food. And if I wouldn't have done that, like you probably already know like how impacting the food that you put into your body has. So those grab and go containers were awesome. And we'll give you a few of our favorite products in the next few slides. But that was so helpful for me. And then prepping your dinner ingredients. I normally don't make my dinners in advance because I don't know, it's normally a bigger meal. It just tastes a little bit better when it's not prepped in advance. But those are the things that I would chop my veggies for in advance. I portion out my meats. So like I hate touching chicken. So if I can just get it out of the container that it came in and put it in the portions. Oh no, it's this stupid thing right here. There. Can you see it? Is it good now, Sindel? Okay. If I portion it out in advance, I like can just take it out of, this is like so weird of me, but like take it out of the Ziploc bag and not have to touch the chicken and like put it in whatever I need to. It's like portioning out the meats, like it just feels like it saves me a lot of time. Pre-baking some of the ingredients like chicken, right? You could pre-bake your sweet potatoes if you're having sweet potatoes, so that all you have to do is toss them into the microwave and heat them up, or even just toss them into the oven for a little bit, because then it doesn't take as long, but it feels like it came right out of the oven. It tastes a little bit better. So what can you prep in advance? So this is just a real quick look. So here I have my checklist. This is what I can prep in advance. I can prep my eggs with spinach and tomato, and hello, I did that all on Sunday while I was cooking breakfast, so I saved time there. Lunches, chicken. It's really easy to roast your chicken. In the summer, I'd like to just toss it on the grill to have grilled chicken, or if you like shredded chicken, you can put it in the Instapot. The other star right here, so these are the star ones, the ones I did in advance, the roasted veggies. So look, I did that on, and I mentioned this before, I did that for my dinner on Sunday night. So that took away prep time, right? I just was doing that for dinner anyways, as well as the sweet potatoes for the next week. Dinner, I can prep the beanless chili and have that done. For the other parts of my dinners, I would separate out all the turkey meat from Thursday to Friday. I'd chop my fajita veggies so that all I have to do is toss them into a pan. And then I'd cut the chicken for the fajitas, because then I could literally just toss it all in at once. And then snacks, what I would prep in advance would be my snack bags. So when you look at this, I'm really not prepping that much, because the breakfasts and a lot of the lunches are coming from my dinner on Sunday night. And then my dinner on Monday, where I already will have prepped the fajita meats and veggies. So like my lunches are super easy and my breakfasts are super easy. And then I just have a few little things that I have to do for the week for my dinners. So these are a few of mine and Sindel's favorite tools or things that we use. The bento meal prep containers. I love the ones that have the 3 compartments. And unlike like a tip from the To Be Mindset, like Veggies Most, I always filled the big container with veggies. And it also works for the portion fix, because when you use your containers, you'll find that the meat and the carbs fit perfectly within the small one and the veggies in the big one. I have not used this, but I've heard raving reviews about the veggie and food chopper, and I need to get one. Like I keep saying that, because I hate slicing onions and all of that. So if anyone has one, I would love to know if you would like agree that it's awesome. I like glass containers as well. I personally, I mean, it's better for you to use glass, but I also feel like my egg dishes that I have for breakfast come out so much better if I put them in glass in the morning. Spiralizer, love it. Or if you have a Veggetti, it's great for making like zucchini noodles, carrot noodles, sweet potato noodles, like all of those types of things. The Instapot, thank you, Sindel, for like reminding me how amazing it is for cooking sweet potatoes or chicken, or even just meals, right? Or a slow cooker is awesome too. And then obviously I use a lot of Ziploc. Reusable baggies would be way better. I probably should get into that habit. But just to like put your snacks in as well. Okay, now I'm going to hand it over to Sindel.
Hey guys, can everybody hear me okay? Can you guys hear the elephant stomping around above my head? Oh my gosh, my kids are so loud right now, so hopefully it's not too disruptive. Thank you so much, Kate. For those that don't know, Kate and I have like kind of been doing this like healthy journey for probably, gosh, is it going on 6 years now? Has it been that long? It's kind of crazy. But this was not natural for us, like at all. And this is definitely like meal planning and doing this type of stuff is something that it's honestly not that hard, but it's really hard to get into the habit of it. Once you're in the habit, it really becomes pretty simple for the most part, but it's also really simple to fall off track, which I have done multiple times during this journey. But it's so nice once you get back on because you're just reminded like, it's so much easier. My life is so much easier when I have it planned out. So let's talk some budget friendly tips because I think one of the biggest things that we hear is eating healthy is expensive, right? Like I hear it all the time. And yes, it can be. But there's tricks you can do to keep it budget friendly. And I think the biggest thing is you don't have to go out and go crazy. Okay. You don't have to be making all the really complicated meals and stuff like Kate was kind of mentioning. Like keeping it simple is really best, especially when it comes to things like picking your fruit. Like let's pick seasonal stuff. Don't feel like you have to go all crazy and buy papayas and other things. I actually went shopping today. I'm doing the ultimate reset this coming weekend, and papayas was on the list, which is why I said it. That's what's on my mind. And I was like, I am not paying that much for papayas. It's for a fruit platter. You can sub different things. Okay. Alter your recipes if a little bit. I actually ended up buying mangoes because they were on sale, even though they're so out of season in North Dakota, but that's okay. It was on sale. And I was like, okay, this will probably be a good substitute. So pick seasonal fruits and vegetables that work well in obviously your climate and whatnot. And use what is on hand before you go grocery shopping or you put together your meal plan and you put together your grocery list. What do you already have? Because I remember starting out doing these meal plans and being super excited about these new recipes I was trying and all this stuff. And then I would bring home all this food and I was like, I can't hardly fit this all into my fridge or freezer. And then I'd realize, oh, well, shoot, I already had this or that. Or maybe there was a roast hiding in my freezer somewhere. Look through what you have on hand and let that help you determine what your meal plan is actually going to look like. So if you do have that roast that's hiding in the freezer and you're like, nope, we want to make sure we're being really budget friendly this week, get the roast out. Okay. Look through, see what you have on hand. And don't make 3 meals. Okay. Don't feel like you have to like adapt the meals to your family, kind of like how Kate said, you can make a box of spaghetti, right? For the husbands, because I know that's what my husbands and my kids prefer. But you can also do your spaghetti squash. Adapt those meals, but don't feel like you need to be making 3 different meals for everybody. Use your leftovers. I used to be pretty anti leftovers for a very long time because I was like, I just hate how they taste. And my husband introduced me into you warm them up in the stove. It tastes so much better, you guys, than microwaving. Hi. Are you okay? Did you need something? Okay. You can stay down here as long as you're quiet. Somebody has a Nerf gun next to me. I thought he was going to shoot me. Anyways, warming up your food in the oven makes it taste so fresh. Like it's basically fresh out of the oven versus microwaving it. And then make sure you're recreating things. This is something that I love doing. So for example, you can really take a whole meal and give it completely new life. So for example, if you are doing roasted veggies and chicken, you can take that leftover chicken and you can turn into chicken noodle soup and just kind of repurpose those leftover foods that maybe you're like, okay, that's awesome. I tend to almost always put them into soup. That is like my go-to. It's probably the only meal that I can make it like from scratch so easy. Just about anything else, I'm really, really not that good of a cook, you guys. So soup is always my go-to, but you can repurpose food all the time. We actually had leftover squash that I made into a scrambled egg hash last night. So like different things like that, just kind of be creative with what you can make. You can still make it really healthy. Buy in bulk. Costco is your friend, or Sam's Club, or wherever it is that you go. But I love going to Costco personally. I love buying lots of meats in bulk, especially if they're already having a really good sale. And then cook in bulk too, you guys. This is a huge meal planning prep tip. Like if you are going to do, I'm thinking of ribs because that's probably the #1 meat thing that we get from Costco. But when we buy ribs from Costco, we make 2 racks. Like that's what we do all together. We're not going to eat probably 2 racks of ribs, especially the sizes that they come in, like they're ginormous, but we'll cook them all up and then freeze it or put it in the fridge or whatever. Typically we put them in the fridge and they're used later in the week. But if my husband wasn't home, who tends to eat most of the stuff, I would just put those in the freezer, and 2 weeks from then I could pull them out and warm them up. Like that's all you'd have to do because it was already cooked. And don't fear frozen. That was something that I know I was kind of like, it's not as good for you, blah, blah, blah. Do you want to say hi?
Hi.
Okay, you need to go upstairs. Thank you.
Dad told us to come down here.
Oh, well, tell Daddy I'm still working. Don't fear frozen food though, you guys. It's actually can be just as nutritious, and you can really get good deals on frozen peas, frozen corn, lots of frozen fruit, especially if you like fruit smoothies, different things like that. My go-tos, like as much as I love fresh raspberries in my chocolate Shakeology, frozen is way more economical. Like I like getting the ginormous bags from Costco, and they cost like a fraction of the cost, and they don't rot. So I mean, that's always a plus too. All right, now let's talk about the kid and the husband tips, because I think we all probably have a picky eater in our family somewhere, right? I have a couple kids one in particular that really tries to be picky, and I'm like, I am not allowing you to be picky, but he tries. He pushes his limits all the time. Really dissect your meals out for those picky eaters, you guys. Like we said, don't make those 3 meals, but you can plan ahead and figure out, okay, my husband likes this particular part of the meal, so I'm going to make sure maybe it's sweet potatoes. Maybe you're doing like roasted veggies, and sweet potatoes happens to be one of the veggies you're roasting. And maybe your spouse really likes sweet potatoes, but really does not like the broccoli. Put some extra sweet potatoes on and make sure they get some. Vice versa. My kids, some of them really love broccoli. One of them particularly does not care for broccoli, but he loves cauliflower. So I always make sure I have extra cauliflower, because I know that's the stuff that he is going to want on his. So make sure you make those extras for them. And then allow your kids to serve themselves. My kids typically will eat better if I allow them to serve themselves. There are a lot of days, depending on what we're having, that I'm like, you still have to have like 4 of whatever it is we're having on your plate. But they do tend to eat things better if they serve it up themselves. Fruits and veggies, if you have kids that are, picky and you're trying to get them to eat healthier, it is really nice to have those fruit and veggies cut up, sitting out while you're planning out your meal, while you're cooking, while you're doing those things, and allowing them to kind of graze over that stuff. Because even if they maybe don't finish the entire meal part that you cooked, they at least are getting some fruits and vegetables in while they're kind of hungry and waiting for you to get everything cooked. And then make sure you're including your family in your meal plans. I know if my husband had his way, we would be eating steak every single night. So I know he appreciates it when I'm like, hey, what do you want? And he gets to suggest like making steaks and potatoes or whatever it is that he's wanting. I know he really appreciates that. And I know my kids really love it. We do try. We're not as consistent as we used to be, but for a while, we're doing a dessert a week. We would do kind of like one big dessert, and the kids really got excited about that. And that made them excited about actually helping me meal plan, because I would sit down and be like, all right, guys, we're going to put together the meal plan. And they were so excited to pick out whatever dessert was that they were like, let's get the rest of it filled in. So they were really helpful in picking out what those other meals were. And they knew their meals had to be healthy meals if they were going to get dessert. So that worked really well. And this last tip, you guys, has probably been like the game changer, because I told you, the one that likes to be picky, he is like, he just refuses to take bites of things a lot of times. So we implemented the 3-bite rule. So the rule at our house is if it's on your plate, you do have to take 3 bites of it. Now, I just have to like preface this with, if they absolutely hate something and you know it, you don't have to make them eat 3 bites of it, okay? Like for example, Beckett, he hates chili. He's never liked chili. He hasn't liked chili since he was a little tiny kid. He doesn't love tomato-based stuff. But it's something I know he is not liked. So I don't force him to eat chili. Anything else like broccoli that he used to love, but now he is a picky eater, right? He has to have 3 bites up. And typically by the time we hit bite 3, he forgets that he was trying to fight me on it and eats it all, because he's just like, it's not worth the effort. And he eats it and he doesn't die, and it's totally fine. And usually it's a little bit easier the next time around. So the 3-bite rule has been a huge changer for all of my kids, especially the one that wants to be picky. All right. And so some healthy tips, you guys. These are tips that Kate and I mostly have picked up. We are both certified in the Ultimate Portion Fix and the 2B Mindset Nutrition programs. Both of these are fabulous programs, you guys. And I think we're going to talk a little bit on a slide, right, about them. So I won't talk about them right now, but these are probably some of the best tips that we've picked up that we make sure we implement every day. You really want to make sure you're drinking water first, okay? Fill up on your water between your meals. Let veggies be the main part of your plate, which is so odd, right? I know, like I said, if my husband had his way, it would be steak every night and probably only steak. Like he's like, we just need protein. Like that's all we no, we need a lot more than just protein. But let veggies be the biggest portion on your plate over the protein. And more of the same, like Kate said earlier, a lot of people that, you know, are healthy, fit, are doing their thing and are able to stick with it consistently, we're kind of eating boring. And that's okay. And honestly, it doesn't seem boring to us because we know what we like. And so why would we make anything different? Yes, you're going to throw in new recipes and different things like that. But for the most part, you're going to eat a lot of the same stuff. Track it. Tracking is really important, especially if you're like, I can't figure out why I'm bloated or I have headaches or whatever it is that maybe seems a little off to you. Tracking what you're eating can make a huge difference. For example, when I was doing the Whole30, we were tracking what we were eating, doing all of that stuff. And on day 5, I had salmon patties, you guys. And I've had salmon, I don't know how often, and I couldn't figure out like what exactly was making me grow. You guys, it was the salmon, and salmon is so good for you, right? So sometimes even those foods that are good for you, they might be actually triggering something that you're intolerant to. So for me, it's salmon. Salmon makes me bloat like crazy. So track what you're doing. Don't buy the temptations. I have a deal with my kids that I'm not allowed to buy Oreos because I will eat the entire package in one sitting. I have done it more than once, which is probably not the greatest thing to admit, although I'm almost proud of it. Like I totally have crushed it. That is very nice, buddy. But don't buy the temptations, okay? So at my house, if I buy Oreos, I have to pay my kids each $20, and they can't try tempting me with it in order to get the $20,
Which is
or
really
they
hard.
lose it. Now I have 3 of the children down here, guys. Daddy's doing such a good job. All right. So when it comes to non-food indulgences, or sorry, I totally read that wrong. In the evenings, let's indulge in things that are non-food related, okay? This is probably one of the nicer healthy tips because we all like to indulge in something, right? Whether it's scrolling Facebook, your Instagram, reading a book, taking a bath, whatever it is. Try to change your habits or your thoughts, really shifting your mindset of indulgences being from food to something that's non-food related. And that's really going to help you just really embrace more of that healthier lifestyle. Because I know how many of you guys like celebrations, anytime we're happy, any high emotion, or we're really sad, whatever it is, we tend to go to food right away, right? It's like that we respond to those emotions. So when you're even just switching your evening routine into indulging in non-food things, that alone is going to help you with the emotional component of it. Grocery shop online, you guys. Oh my goodness. First off, if you have children, you have to go grocery shop online just once. And I promise you, you will be like, this is heaven. It is so nice to be able to pull up in the parking lot and they load the groceries in for you. And you didn't take any screaming kids in the store that were begging for candy at the checkout. It's like truly it's heaven. It is like the biggest genius thing ever invented. So go ahead and do that. Get your Shakeology if you don't have Shakeology yet. We obviously are diehard Shako fans. If you are feeling like, gosh, I've tried everything and I still am just like trying to wrap my head around nutrition, find a nutrition program that works really well for you. We've kind of talked about 2 different ones, Ultimate Portion Fix and the 2B Mindset. Both are such great programs. And then get support. Kate and I have ongoing groups all the time that help you get the support you need in order to improve your health, fitness-wise and nutrition-wise. Sorry, I have to mute myself for 1 second, you guys. Liam's so sweet. She's like, I like hearing you talk about your stuff. I'm like, that's nice. Go upstairs. Okay. So if you're needing more support and guidance, we totally have you covered, you guys. We have an entire team of coaches that are truly like ready to take care of you. Like I said, Kate and I both host groups all the time that help with nutrition and with our fitness. And here are a couple of the programs that we were chatting about today. This first one is the Ultimate Portion Fix. This is truly based about fixing your portions really helps fix your life. The proponent that came behind this program, behind Autumn Calabrese, is like the, I guess, inventor and the trainer for like the 21 Day Fix, which was the original program that went together with this nutritional plan. But her big point of change when it came to nutrition and figuring out these portions was when she was sitting down with a client who kept bouncing back and forth, like would lose 5 pounds and then gain it back and lose 5 pounds and gain it back. And when you looked at her tracker and what she was eating, it was like, this is all healthy stuff. You shouldn't be fluctuating back and forth. And they sat down for lunch one day and she ordered the salad at this restaurant that she just loved. It was her normal go-to salad. You guys, the salad alone was her entire allotment of calories for the day. It was like a 1,200 calorie salad. So sometimes you can even overindulge on healthy foods. So that is where the Ultimate Portion Fix kind of came about. And what it does is it actually helps balance out your macronutrients. And when you get your macronutrients, which are your fats, your carbs, and your proteins kind of in check, it is crazy how you can really turn your body into a fat burning machine. But we're going to play a quick little video for you guys so you can kind of get a little idea of kind of what's behind the Ultimate Portion Fix. And I think you might have to unmute yourself, Kate. I remember this last time. We couldn't figure it out.
But I'm realizing that sugar is everywhere.
I don't think I realized how much sugar and like the everyday foods that I actually was eating.
We're now eating 152 pounds of sugar a year that one person is eating. It really does give you a real kick in the pants of, yeah, this is how much you're consuming.
It's a good way for me to start my day off knowing that I can make the right choices.
Whenever I look at food, I'm very, very aware of what's inside. So that's definitely something that Ultimate Portion Fix has helped me with.
I was really thankful for the amount of education I got on the hidden sugars.
So you ate an apple bran muffin for breakfast and thought you were doing something really good for yourself, but you just got the same amount of sugar as if you had eaten M&Ms.
Now I am looking at the nutritional labels. My kids are looking at the nutritional labels. When they see something has a lot of sugar, they're putting it back.
I feel really good about the food that I'm feeding my family and myself thanks to the Ultimate Portion Fix.
Now I have to unmute myself. So that was one of the programs that we are both certified in helping you with. The other one is 2B Mindset. 2B Mindset takes a little bit of a different approach, and the I keep wanting to call her a trainer. I guess the nutritionist, though, behind this, her name's Alana, and she herself has lost 100 pounds using what she teaches you with the 2B Mindset. I would say the biggest difference between the 2B Mindset versus Ultimate Portion Fix is there's a difference in flexibility, and it really kind of depends on the person. I know myself personally, I kind of almost need somebody to be like, this is what you're doing, and like almost a little stricter. But other people are like, no, that's not my way. I can't do that. I need to have a little bit more flexibility. And if you're that way, I usually kind of guide my clients towards the 2B Mindset, because the tricks and tools that she implements to really change your way that you look at things, from the scale to overindulging in foods that you don't need to binge on, because nothing is actually taken away with the 2B Mindset. You are really kind of trained into looking at things as treats instead of cheats. It's just a genius way to really help naturally curb your food into just naturally eating a lot healthier.
Emotional eating is something that I have struggled with all my life. I really didn't feel good, and emotional eating never makes you feel better.
Emotional eating is hard. It might not get solved in a day because it didn't get started in a day.
I never thought I could stop emotionally eating.
First tip for overcoming emotional eating is identify the trigger. I felt myself immediately go on the defensive. Like, why can't I have that ice cream?
Why am I eating a bag of chips on the way home every single night?
We need emotional healing, not emotional eating. Now I actually sort through my feelings in a constructive way because I'm not just pouring it into food. I have lost 70 pounds.
I have lost 67 pounds. It's tremendously freeing. I've lost 73 pounds, total game changer in my life.
I have lost 94 pounds with the 2B Mindset.
Free yourself from emotional eating once and for all.
Free is a really good word for how I feel.
To Be Mindset.
Okay, and then this next one, which this, you guys, is the giveaway that we're doing tonight. So thank you for being on live with us because you guys might get the 3-day refresh. So as you can see, these are actually my results from my last 3-day refresh that I did. I love the 3-day refresh because it's a perfect tune-up when you feel like, I always joke that it's like my sugar dragon is out of control. Like I need to get my sugar dragon back railed in. And because I know for me, it's sweets, like that is my downfall versus like the savory stuff. I actually really like both, you know, but the sweets are what really get me and I have a harder time controlling. So especially after holidays or anything along those lines, the 3-day refresh is awesome. It's 3 days. You implement a few different things like their vanilla fresh shake, which is a good protein source, but it's helping stabilize your blood sugars and different things along those lines. You also do a digestive sweep, which I don't love the taste probably of the digestive, like the fiber sweep, not digestive sweep, excuse me, the fiber sweep, but it is so nice because it really does help add a lot of bulk to you. With the 3-day refresh, it is a cleanse, but it's not a cleanse that you're like, I'm juicing or I'm doing a water cleanse or doing where you're like running to the bathroom like a crazy person. That is not how this is designed. You actually eat food during this, which is probably like the best part. And I think the last time when I was doing this, Kate, we did it probably at the same time. And both of us made comments about how we kept forgetting our snacks that you're allowed to have because we were so satisfied with the amount of food that we were getting, because you actually do eat a lot of food. You're just eating very specific food during this. So I was down 5 pounds in 3 days. And obviously when you drop weight like that, you guys, I just want to make sure you understand that like you're not dropping fat, okay? What you're dropping is inflammation. And the average American that's just eating a typical diet usually carries around like 10 pounds of just inflammation in their gut. So this is kind of what you're changing, is really kind of getting that junk out of your system. And this is the next one, the ultimate reset. This is what I'm starting this weekend. This is what Kate finished. When did you finish it? A couple weeks ago now, a few weeks ago? You guys, her results were awesome. Go to her Instagram, look through it. It was pretty stellar. I'm really excited about this program, you guys. So what the Ultimate Reset is, it's actually a 3-week program where you're truly restarting your body from the inside out, kind of bringing it back to its factory settings, so to speak. But you're basically taking away foods that typically cause a lot of inflammation, okay? There's 3 different phases during it. There's 3 weeks where the first week you are removing those toxic foods that tend to cause the inflammation, right? And the second week you're doing what is called release. And during these, you're taking specific supplements that help your body process through and release these toxins that tend to just cling to our bodies. As you guys can see, I mean, the results speak for themselves. And like, it's kind of crazy how much inflammation and toxic just junk you can shed in a 3-week time period. But the really cool part is on week 3, you are actually, I'm a blank on the name, it's Restore, right? Is what they call it, right? It's Release, Reclaim, Restore is the last one. And with Restore, this is like the game changer to any cleanse I have ever seen, and is usually the big component that is missing from most any of your juicing cleansers or whatever 30-day challenges or different things that a lot of other companies put out there, is typically they don't add in where you're restoring what you took out. So when you're doing this, you're actually resetting your gut bacteria, and during the 3rd week, you start reintroducing probiotics and prebiotics and different supplements to really get your gut health back on track. So I'm super excited to start this. This is going to be really awesome. I'm also slightly terrified because it is not designed, you guys, to be easy. It is designed to be effective, but it's really, really good. Also, just a side note for anybody that's thinking about doing this, you cannot be pregnant or breastfeeding while you do this because your body truly is releasing toxins. So you're trying to just totally get it out. All right. And then this next one is probably like the ultimate, I would say probably the ultimate go-to that most people are like, okay, they want to jump into something. They're looking to improve their their health and they're like, what do I need to do? I want to get fit and I want to eat better. This is usually the easiest way to go about jumping into something. With this is called a challenge pack, you guys. A challenge pack is anything that's combined with a year's worth of Beachbody On Demand, and then things like Shakeology, our superfood shake that we like to drink. This is an awesome option if you're like, hey, I really do need something. Maybe you can't get to the gym as often as you would like, or maybe you used to be huge into CrossFit, but you're like, I now have 3 kids. Or you're like me, who was like in the midst of going through postpartum depression, couldn't shake the baby weight, and I was like, I can't even leave my house. I need something. This is an awesome option for you. With this option, you get the 30-day supply of Shakeology and then the year's worth of Beachbody On Demand. In addition to, you get their nutrition guide, which is awesome. And then you get all the awesome things that come with Beachbody On Demand, you guys. Like, what kills me about this challenge pack is that when Kate and I jumped into doing this, you guys, this is about the price that we were paying for one program. Now you get access to every single program that Beachbody has ever put together, which is like a killer deal, such a killer deal. And for a full year, like, it's way cheaper than a gym membership. All right, so it is our giveaway time. I'm going to turn it back over to Kate to kind of talk to you guys a little bit about what we're going to do for the giveaway.
Hey guys, so we will tell you about our giveaway, and then I noticed we had some questions in the chat box, and pull those up. But the 3-day refresh, Cymbal talked about it a little bit, and we're giving one away. We'll give it away tomorrow. Basically, to qualify, what we want you to do is to take some kind of creative selfie, whether it's you with your meal plan, it's a selfie of you right now on the call, something fun with like a takeaway or whatever you want it to say, and then tag us in your Instagram stories. So write those down right now, Kate Emily Noble, and at MomBodNation. And then we will pick a winner. We'll give you until tomorrow to post it. So then, you get a little bit of time, but just do it now so that you're done. And then we'll announce the winner on our Instagram stories. So 3-day refresh is like amazing. And so I highly encourage you to take advantage of getting it for free, because like Cymbal said, its value is $70, which is incredible. Other than that, did we have any other slides? Oh, as always, like, we have our virtual boot camps that cover both fitness and nutrition, and that, like, we always have boot camp starting. Your coach, if they invited you to this, they always have boot camp starting. So definitely hop in to one of those. I'm going to stop the share and stop our recording.